And we got our 2 more probes. Let's get them out. Light bulb, go on over. And Darwin, head on over. Alright, cool. Extra hours in Sector 1, really? The debris field we have entered is mostly composed of corpses. The floating bodies bump against the hull and create sounds that reverb throughout the Tycoon's sectors. This is not proving beneficial for the crew's morale. That the EVA crews are discussing their experiences working outside the Tycoon with colleagues in mess halls, compounding the problem. Crew's morale is affected. Great. Thanks, game, because I need more of that right now. Scans have detected large quantities of steel around what appears to be a wreckage of the East Industrial Zone. We have arrived at the ruined industrial zone. The view is intriguing. In addition to the general debris and bodies that float everywhere, there are large pillars of previously molten metal that have solidified when the area was exposed to the vacuum of space. The zone has been ripped open and much of the interior appears to have been blown away. The structural tear extends into a storage area full of suspended yellow particles. Let's look for the source of the yellow particles and wait for Darwin here to get to the other place. The collapsed food.
The science ship has arrived at its destination.
Our sensors have located a section of the E's drifting in the vacuum of space. Our initial readings are registering a lot of organic debris. We are on site. The part of the E was responsible for the ship's food production. Production was divided into 2 zones, vegetational and animal. We have identified a self-contained area during a heat signature. The area is small, but it is not impossible that some survivors may be sheltering there. Let's investigate the veggie zone first. We'll just go down the list. Got 2 more probes. Let's get the ice here. We're gonna need it for our food. Well, since we're not in anything, we're gonna actually start building our next set of solar panels. Okay, 2 probes have been sent out. They're almost done with our research. Administrator, the Remus coordinates aren't here. As you know, Vol coordinates are incredibly complex algorithms that require advanced technology for their storage and application. We have identified a storage area within the command center where such equipment, perhaps including that stolen from the protagonist, should have been held. It has been ripped away, shorn by the cutting lasers, and taken. There is some small hope. A single damaged calculator terminal was found. Power supplied from the Tycoon has allowed us to access it. It appears that the E's final moments, while they attempted to address the colossal damage done to the ship, the crew were able to identify and record a self-similar signature of the attacker as it withdrew. Perhaps they hope to later mount such sort of pursuit to recover the stored coordinates of Remus. We are now in this possession of that signature. It belongs to the Parnells, the P, whatever, a ship of the Black Market Society. This is where our hope fades. The fellow officers' logs we have found that detailed the attack are terrifying. It seems highly likely that the coordinates of the Remus are now on board the pirates. We processed the data. We have found that within the center, and thanks to old recordings of now inactive distress signals, we are able to locate the other parts of the E which have drifted across the system. Investigate further into the P's attack.
Team has completed a
Drilling
task.
through several layers of debris, the Darwin's team finally reached the vegetable production area. They were greeted by a floating corpse of UN soldiers and crew. A few district workers seeming to have reached emergency cryopods before depressurization. Hydroponic technology was used to board the E to grow fruits and vegetables in large vertical aisles. Recovered yield reports detail how hierarchical rationing reserved the rarest of foods for high-ranking crew members. Although the remaining food production facilities are unusable, a few intact storage containers were found by the team. And there we go, we got a new upgrade. Personalized instructions upgrade unlocked for the crop farm. Let us inspect animal pen. The team followed the trail of yellow particles through the vacuum to another section of the E wreckage. It appears to have been at least partially spared from the destruction as we have seen elsewhere. The particles from the crushed and damaged flowers of the yellow squash. A bed of these frozen plants surround a large bronze sculpture, a depiction of Earth. Crowned and laurels? I don't know. Many messages have been left near the sculpture, railing against the perceived enemies of humanity, Dolus, and the Ashtangans, a plague at its base, against the cynicism that kills hope, against the madness which precedes hell, to perpetuate the genius of humanity and the memory of our lives on Earth. This is a compartment beneath the plague in which a sealed time capsule was found. It seems it is possible to open. Let's open the time capsule. That's interesting, isn't it? As E paused in the Crux system, it was surprised and attacked by the pirates. Reports indicate colossal casualties. The UN was able to find a flaw in the pirates' defense system and managed to mount a boarding assault. Pirates responded by firing its main weapon before fleeing the system. The last survivors of the attack who could not enter the cryonic pods either died from the code or slowly asphyxiated in the days that followed. Alright. The production area has been gutted for several hundred meters. A large amount of floating carcasses has been made it difficult for the team to differentiate between what is animal and what is not. The team did find several working cryopods and have prepared these for extraction. Production seems mainly to have been galliform, although there are signs that rare meat were produced. The Darwin team wishes specifically note that they found a cryopod containing a dog. The owner seems to have decided that the animal's life was more important than their own. The corpse hangs in the pod. Let's provide the dog a new home. Inside the capsule were toys and other everyday items. Several objects were of unknown purpose. There was a packet of newspaper clippings that had revealed some of what happened after the Tycoon first entered self-similar space. There was a total collapse of Earth's ecosystems, accelerated by the moon's destruction. In response, the United Nations installed a totalitarian government of planetary surveillance to protect the population from eco-terrorists and the continuous waves of pandemics. They prioritized cooperative practices that supported the environment of its preservation. Individual responsibility seems to have become paramount. Numerous legal ramifications were implemented to counter any further acceleration of the ecosystem's destruction. In this time of crisis, and guided by the government, society seems to have turned on politicians, extremists, immigrants, and conspiracy theorists. One after the other, they portrayed them as possible scapegoats, holding them responsible for 250 years of industrialization, market disruption, superficial society practice, moral decay, and hyper-consumerism. The E was to the Great Ark, the global project that would save humanity. Only those deemed well-behaved in the eyes of the government would be allowed to board. Self-cleaning lubricants upgrade unlocked for the waste treatment center. Alright, let's investigate the storage area. We did not expect this decision. I would remind you that the Dolus regulations prohibited animals aboard the Tycoon. A cautious approach towards the self-contained area. Man's best friend. We got a dog, guys! I also want train station, so we're gonna get that next. Look at the medium cargo. Oh! Head on over here. This could be for cryopods and cryopods only. High priority, we want this built right away. This, I'm gonna have be iron. We have two of these
The
guys.
science ship team has completed a task.
Dang, man. Just so much reading. By powering the command center, the Heisenberg's team was able to extract and analyze the core mission data. The E was a UN ship initially launched to find other exoplanets. Early data logs from their voyage indicate a glaring lack of preparation to accomplish such a task. In the absence of a habitable exoplanet, they seem to have concentrated on the search for what the UN has designated as enemies of humanity, Dolus and Ashtangs. By boarding the Portagus, the E was able to locate Remus. We're now going to get all this wonderful science data.
Administrator, we have found the Piranesi signature stored in the
Piranesi's
destroyed command center.
Okay.
It is a ship unlike any other in our records. A formidable opponent, now in possession of the Remus coordinates. The eventual failure of the Tycoon's hull is inevitable. We have no other choice but to confront the Piranesi. Before we leave the system, we must find a way to develop an effective countermeasure strategy.
Indeed. The Ark of Humanity. The storage area seems to have been a battleground for a large, violent clash. Workers attempt to repel an invader using small firearms and improvised weaponry. Apart from the laser cutting marks across the bodies and containers, there is no evidence that the identifiers the invader. The large majority of the storage area seems to have been emptied, but after some searching, the Lightbulbs team located a number of intact cryopods and resource containers. Wonderful. Let's explore the industrial zone. Let's recognize the Darwin +1 permanent. Yes! Upon entering the area, the crew of Darwin was confronted by a UN soldier exhibiting extreme signs of dementia. Yelling the words, "Die Dolus scum," they opened fire on our team. The confrontation ended with the depressurization of the area due to a projectile fire and the death of both the soldier and two of Darwin's team. Investigating what they could afterwards, the team has concluded that this was a place of indoctrination for the surrounding production zone workers. Remains of the statue depict to the glory of the E commanders were found, as well as other art pieces aimed at condemning the enemies of humanity, Dolus and the Ashtagonists. Oh, that was kind of a waste of everyone's time, wasn't it? The industrial zone itself is devastated. Both factory machinery and crew recovered by flying molten metal. As depressurization occurred, as the metal solidified, grisly monuments were created. Or sometimes all that remains of the body is cracked metal shell. Cryopods found in this area have either been covered by steel or compromised. Okay, our team was very good inspiration. Okay, cool. Uh-oh. What's going on? The storm is moving. You see that? You see that? I see that. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Assessors have located that the section of E drifted in space. First reports indicate that the wreckage is the engine room and reactors. We arrived at the site. Only two of E's massive reactors remain. Initial reconnaissance revealed three pieces of interest: the thrusters, the engine room, and the engine supervision area. Well, let's do the supervision area first, huh? P-42 is eligible for colonization testing. Data collection will help shape the future. Well, might as well. I might honestly want to start considering moving this stuff here. The engine supervision area was mainly occupied by those of rank. Some had time to enter the cryopods before the apparent depressurization of the area. Analysis of remaining computer infrastructure indicates that their directives were merciless towards the engine room workers. They treated them as expendable outcasts. Though there are traces throughout the entire supervisionary district of hacking attempts, all ship computers dedicated to the engine and reactors were compromised, preventing the E from maneuvering and causing power failures throughout the superstructure. The Hindenburg's team has managed to extract remnants of the computer's protocols that were used to do this. These fragments of code point to the author, the BMS. Relevant data has been sent to the Tycoon's tech lab for more detailed analysis. Investigate the thrusters. Our probe has detected a signal originating from the chain of mountains that bore an acidic ocean on P38. This is the Darwin crew. We are currently in orbit of P38. The planet possesses a highly corrosive atmosphere. There will be a little room for improvement once we touch down. We must establish a searchable protocol now. Okay? Let's form an analysis first before just jumping into something, right? We now have data to analyze the pirates' hacking protocols. The associated research project can be launched in the tech lab. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna need 4 of these guys. It seems excessive. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just perfection? The drone bay will allow us to transport items to other sectors significantly faster. So this is important for food, obviously, for here. I don't need one in here. I'm not transporting anything. And then I'm going to need one here because I'm transporting literally all of the stuff. Literally everything. I think alloy. And then we'll destroy that alloy. I think that's a good idea. Oh! Look at all those cryopods. I don't zoom in enough on this game. But look at all those cryopods, man. Like, holy cow. Health Center, Hull Temple, Fighting Dome, and Observatory. That's pretty cool. And then an algae farm. Nuclear power plant, obviously. The E seemed capable of achieving 2 different types of propulsion. The Ultra System mode of propulsion may have similarities to the Dolus EKP. Cross-referencing mission data reveals a number of matches to the encounter near Saturn during the Tycoon's initial test phase. Their inter-system propulsion covers many of the basic operations of the Vol engine. Our team has noted the remains of numerous accreditation areas. Access to and knowledge of the propulsion mode seem to have been strictly regulated, and 2 reactors were damaged at the same time as a large superstructure, and our analysis has revealed traces of gluten particles. Let's inspect the engine room. Everyone else still doing their thing? You're not. This is Darwin's crew. The signal is transmitting from an abandoned subterranean complex. By breaching it, we have unfortunately allowed the corrosive atmosphere. Oh, I didn't tell you guys to breach it. I just told you guys to analyze it. Of P38. Inside, we estimate that the complex was built within the last 20 years. We do not recognize the iconographical of its interior. The technology inside does seem human-made, and there are no signs that it was once inhabited. There is still some little time before the corrosion eats through Darwin's hull and landing gear. We do not think we will be able to explore the entire site, but we have identified places of interest. Let's explore the fields area. I think we can only explore one area before it corrodes. The train station has been unlocked. So now we can build train stations that go between it, which is really cool. The E's engines were not supported by a PA or even basic AI. Instead, crew members were constantly monitoring, adjusting, and repairing the engines and thrusters. As a controls engineer, that must have been an absolute nightmare to do. Not even basic PLC control, come on, you don't need an AI. The living conditions were extremely precarious, and it would have seemed many of them were either prisoners or rejects from the population on board the E. There are records of several serious breakdowns before the final explosion. Crew members would work waist-deep in coolant, some dying while performing their tasks within the toxic substance. Those who refused were executed by the supervisors. Wow. We're gonna eventually have to move. The team has identified a ceiling landing body. 90% sure if I do anything else, they're all gonna die.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Oh, okay, so no, I guess we could get to. Darwin's team believed the tanks were used for some sort of accelerated geotherapy. Most of the equipment has been dismantled, but some tank functions were identified. A system for genetic reprogramming, the ability to dissolve organic material into a refined paste, and an application process for said paste to be used as a catalyst. It is unlikely that we will be able to obtain any more precious information about this technology. Leave. Okay, so we have a couple problems. Through chemical processing and convincing synthetic flavored food produced from waste is proving to be unpopular with the crew. Guys, it's mushrooms! What do they expect? Whatever, fine. Sure, turn off this, I guess. Whatever, I don't care. Be a bunch of babies. Complain about eating mushrooms. Well, that's why it's red. Okay. Well... that's a problem for everyone. It is time to move. Time to move out of the storm. Oh man. Terrifying. Oh my god. What a nightmare. So long as they don't move through it, they should be fine. But man, I'm gonna lose all my science ships for a while. Crap. I'm gonna load back to here. Because I'm pretty sure the storm's progressing every time I'm researching something. So I'm gonna stop answering my science ships for a while until the colony's there, because unfortunately, what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna keep losing cargo ships because they're gonna keep taking up that science ship. So yeah, that's just not ideal. Heisenberg, please come back to the Tycoon. No point in you being there. Nuclear power plant has been researched. That's pretty cool. Crew are encouraged by how many survivors we brought into the Tycoon. The increase to the population reinforces the feeling that our goal of saving humanity is achievable. The new crew members woken from cryopods are now part of something bigger than themselves. Fantastic. I'd love to see that. What do I want to get? Let's get this and this. We are full of cryo people here in Sector 5. It's full. Oh, I have 1,227 and it's just going up with cryo people. Oh my god. We're gonna need them to mine faster, realistically. I would like to get more speed too. Faster, 10% faster, 20% more resources. Unknown. Ooh.
A probe has completed its scan.
Efficiency of 5. That's pretty good. In case people are wondering how many cryopods I have unfroze in this chapter alone, it's 163. Oh, I should definitely get that KPG engine, considering how much I'm going to be moving around in this particular chapter. Probably a good idea to grab. Oh, I should get this. I should get this, actually. Oh, hell, you know, I should get this. Look at this, everyone. I didn't get to show it off before. Their little helicopter, look at them! They're gonna go take all the resources and deliver it. It is awesome. They are so cool. Speaking of which, let's turn these guys on as well. This guy's gonna hold our carbon. We're pausing the construction of the nuclear power plant because our hull is taking a lot of damage. And we kind of need to not be taking a lot of damage. Are we researching anything right now? Oh, wow, I didn't. Ooh, yikes. My bad. Let's see. Let's research this. Let's queue up the large stockpile. Hey, they're done complaining. We can turn on the mushroom farms again. Is that gonna blow our power? No, we'll be fine. We'll be very close. Don't no one trip over anything. Alright, no one plug in their phone, alright? You hear? Don't do it. I can't afford it. We finished the solar panels. Hell yeah. We almost have all the food there we need. And then I guess the transfer ship will then do colonists, because the colonists literally have been here the entire effing time. We have a lot. Wow, this thing is a large stockpile. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. I would love to build it somewhere, but I don't think I have literally any space to do that. Now we're transporting the colonists. Okay. Man, it took them long enough, didn't it? Oh, the drones! I can't wait to have the trains come across here. That'll look pretty cool. So we can build it. Might as well build the whole thing, I guess. My little train! There goes Poo-Poo! Choo-choo! It's gotta be terrifying, but also awesome at the same time. Is it actually researching now? Oh my god, it is. Wow. It only took 10 years, but hey. Here's the thing. If I click this, it might progress everything. So let's start marking stuff as a void. I want my mining ship and my cargo ships to stop doing stuff. Food. High priority. Man, that's gonna be awesome. Look at it. Look at this thing. Wish I knew how many. Stores 720 units of a single resource. Oh, are we ever gonna fill it up with food? Absolutely not, but a man can dream. Come on back, guys. The temporary test colony has been established. Colonists will periodically transmit reports on their progress. This will provide us with valuable field data. Okay, investigate the tank room. Tycoon. Let's go to the furthest point. Since we saw this, we're just gonna skip. I can see the storm has enveloped our old area.
Entering stellar storm.
Alright, let us leave the planet. The only unfortunate news is that our science ships are stuck over here. For a while. As you can see, the storm actually moved even further out. Interesting. Hopefully it keeps doing that, because I like that.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Our sensors have identified a section of the E drifting in the Crux system. Initial readings indicate that a large amount of floating debris is present in the area. We've also detected heat signatures, electromagnetic emissions, and a weak radio signal deep within the wreckage. We are currently unable to decrypt the signal. This is the Hindenburg team. We have entered the habitable sector wreckage. Many mutilated bodies and cryopods float in the void. We have been able to pinpoint the exact area of the unusual readings. Recover the cryopods, I suppose. Might as well continue building more solar panels, I suppose.
A science ship team has completed.
We have finished our evaluation of the cryopods. We were able to recover a large amount. They're ready for extraction. 795 cryopods. The recovery area is horrifying. The bodies that float here are mostly from civilians. The dwelling from within the habitable sector looks more like the slums than real housing. The population density must have been extremely high. Some bodies show clear signs of disease and malnutrition. Push deeper to the structure to reach the source of the unusual readings. Making progress through the metal debris that lies everywhere has been difficult. The E has been constructed from a range of extremely strong alloys. We have come to an area of fallen debris which forms a precautious cave around us. Two paths outward are possible. We could pass through a large section of the pipe and laser cut Temperature analysis of the cut indicate that it has happened some time ago. Alternatively, there is a reinforced tunnel leading away from here. Its sides are covered in bullets, holes. We could continue to use the drilling rig, but these paths will surely save us time. Let's use the tunnel. Let's research all the stuff
An accident has occurred in
around the farm. Oh my god, it's a dead body. Wow, okay. Are there more of them like that just kind of floating around us? I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, I like the attention to detail, guys. Good job. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, there you go. Oh, my head's in the way. You got the gist of it. While walking through the tunnel, we activated a trap. A huge deluge of debris fell from above, yet fortunately our suit exoskeletons allow us to avoid fatalities. There was no sign of any survivors. At the end of the tunnel was littered with corpses of soldiers killed by cutting laser. Exiting the tunnel, we found a small shelter cobbled together from surrounding debris. Within it, a number of broken drones shaped like deep-sea creatures floated in the lack of gravity. They bear the BMS logo of the Black Market Society. This is the first time we have seen machines like this. We have transmitted schematics and data. He has been dead for several days. The weak radio signal was transmitted from the suit's emergency beacon. We presumed an attempt to contact other survivors. That's sad, isn't it? The storm has passed. For the most part.